black beetles in the city, be back immediately.
Evolution is the change in allele frequencies in a population over time. Here's an example of evolution occurring. From this we can see that the brown beetles are dominant. And the question is, has evolution occurred? The answer is yes, since the frequencies have changed after selection and reproduction. Since brown is dominant, when they reproduce, most brown beetles will be produced, and therefore the number of green beetles decreases. The theory of evolution states that evolution happens by natural selection. Here are the key points. Individuals in species show a wide range of variation. This variation is because of differences in genes. Individuals with characteristics most suited to the environment are more likely to survive and reproduce. The genes that allow the individuals to be successful are passed to the offspring in the next generation. Individuals that are poorly adapted to their environment are less likely to survive and reproduce. This means that their genes are less likely to be passed to the next generation. Birds mostly feed on small insects and animals that live on or just under the surface of the ground, so therefore they eat worms. If we have a population of red and blue worms, and the birds like to eat the blue worms, then if the birds only eat the blue worms, then generations later there'll only be red worms left. In this situation, the red will be selected for, meaning that you have a favorable advantage in reproduction or competition, and more of your offspring survive to reproduce. The blue would be selected against, meaning that you have an unfavorable disadvantage that results in fewer of your offspring surviving to reproduce. The red wattlebird feed on nectar, which obtains by probing flowers with its thin curved bill. Magpies feed on small insects and animals that live on or just under the surface of the ground. A favorite is the scarab beetle, which is a major pest of garden lawns. Magpies will also eat frogs, small lizards, meat scraps, and grains.
Magpies will prefer the non-coloured spaghetti, and ravens will prefer the red spaghetti. Variables. Independent. We'll be changing the area of where we put the spaghetti depending on where all the birds are. We will not change in the middle of a trial. Dependent variable. We'll be measuring the number of spaghetti eaten by two species of birds after 20 minutes. Controlled. We will not change the apparatus of the experiment, which includes the amount of spaghetti used, the size of the spaghetti, and the colours. Materials needed: green, yellow and red food dye, 4 servings of pasta, a park with different species birds are situated, an apparatus to document results such as a pencil. Collect the following apparatus. Cook and dye the pasta with each colour and separate each colour and leave, and don't dye one set. Cut each strip of pasta into 7.5cm strips and use 10 for each set. Go to the park. We will analyse the birds, magpies and red wattlebirds. Place 10 of each type of noodles in the same area. Keep a distance that will not scare the birds. After 20 minutes, finalise the data and only count the pasta strips that have not been eaten or tampered with. Design method. Collect the following apparatus.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, it's magic!
Cut each strip of pasta into 7.5cm strips and use 10 for each set, and separate each colour and leave, and don't dye one set. Cut each strip of pasta into 7.5cm strips and use 10 for each set. Go to the park. We will analyse the birds, magpies and red wattlebirds. Place 10 of each type of noodles in the same area. Keep a distance that will not scare the birds. After 20 minutes, finalise the data and only count the pasta strips that have not been eaten or tampered with.
First trial we recorded, we got 0 birds. We thought this was because of the location, so after we went to a different park and retrieved this data. With this chart, we used percentages instead of the actual numbers. This is because there were different amount of birds for each species that came to eat the prey. From the results, we can see that the 6 magpies that ate the spaghetti ate mostly the normal spaghetti, but ate everything else as well. In the 6 magpies, 50% of the magpies ate normal coloured spaghetti. The lowest percentage was red and green at 13%. We could see that the 2 red wattle birds only ate the normal coloured spaghetti and the red coloured spaghetti. 66% of the birds ate the red and 33% of the birds ate the normal coloured spaghetti. Our hypothesis was right. In the experiment, the species and their diet was influenced by the colour of worms they ate. The magpies wasn't a very good species to analyse because they will eat anything and they are scavengers. In this experiment, you can see that they ate every single colour. This data is not very reliable due to the natural selection. Since there were 8 birds and they ate all of the colours, this just shows a lot of variation in the species. Some of the birds might have just selected any of the colours due to their genes.
Magpies feed on small insects and animals that live on or just under the surface of the ground. A favourite is the scarab beetle, which is a major pest of garden lawns. Magpies will also eat frogs, small lizards, meat scraps, and grains.
Please, small world, all the friends know of me. Young bull living like an old geese. Quick release the cash, watch it fall slow.